So the 2026 Formula One calendar got revealed last week, and notably no African Grand Prix yet has made its place back onto the calendar. Of course, the favourites for this are South Africa, which hosted the most recent African Grand Prix in 1993, of course, and also Rwanda, which is more than heavily rumoured to get a track in Formula One in the coming years. Now, when it comes to South Africa, there are effectively two bids. Either a new circuit around the city of Cape Town or returning to the former home of the South African Grand Prix, Kyalami. Now, I hear mixed things when it comes to Kyalami getting ready for F1. I heard a couple of years ago that it wasn't really feasible for the track to get upgraded to Grade 1. However, the noise coming out of the circuit and the noise coming out of some people that are local to the area that have commented on my videos, they're saying that it's possible. They're saying that it can be done, that there is actually a way to do it. Despite all the houses and the infrastructure already being around the track, there is actually a path forward to get it a Grade 1 license. The very thing that you need to host a Formula One Grand Prix these days. And Kyalami now has emerged in pole position when it comes to bringing Formula One back to Africa for the first time in over 30 years. So let's have a look at what's been said here, guys. Full article on the F1chronicle.com as always. Former F1 venue Kyalami has leapt into pole position to take Formula One back to the African continent. The sport is clearly keen to complete a true World Championship calendar by reintegrating the only missing continent on the 24-race schedule. However, many names have been linked with the future African Grand Prix, including Cape Town, Rwanda, and even Morocco, as well as Zanzibar. But former South African Grand Prix host Kyalami, located just north of Johannesburg and having staged no less than 21 F1 races until 1993, has just had its plans for F1 ready FIA Grade 1 certification approved. Currently, the circuit has an FIA Grade 2 status. In a statement, the venue announced that it has received confirmation that the FIA has accepted final design proposals to upgrade the circuit to Grade 1 status, the highest international standard required to host Formula One. Once the capital works are completed and the final inspection concluded, Kyalami will become Africa's only FIA Grade 1 circuit capable of hosting Formula One on the African continent. Circuit owner Tovi Venter said in a press conference, "This is a defining moment for South African motorsport." He said very little work needs to be done to achieve Grade 1 rubber stamping, describing it as a light touch-up upgrade. The statement continued that the FIA has given Kyalami 3 years to complete the upgrades. Venter added, "Today we turn the page to a bold new chapter for Kyalami. We are ready for the return of Formula One to African soil." Hear, hear, and I hope it happens, because my God, does that Cape Town, South Africa circuit look absolute garbage. It looks so dull, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's in a beautiful part of the world, don't get me wrong. Cape Town, an amazing city, you know. I am absolutely fine with us going to Cape Town, but not at that track. It looks like Sochi in the sun. It looks terrible. It looks like an awful track. But Kyalami is a proper circuit, man. Like, they used to host Formula One there in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and all the way to the 90s as well. It's changed a lot since the old days. It's a lot more complex now. Detractors of it say that it'll be impossible to overtake in Formula One cars, and in fairness, the 92 and the 93 races were pretty dull, but also in fairness, the 92 and 93 seasons were absolutely dominated by Williams, so there wasn't really much jeopardy there, to be honest. So maybe with these new cars that are coming in for 26, the circuit can produce overtakes. We'll see what these cars are like when it comes to overtaking. They're getting rid of DRS. So clearly Formula One is, confident that these cars can overtake without artificial aids like that. But this isn't going to happen anytime soon. I mean, as it says in the article, Formula One has given Kyalami 3 years to complete these upgrades. That takes us till 2028. So realistically, just going off of that, the first South African Grand Prix that could realistically be hosted at the Kyalami circuit would be 2029. In that time, would Rwanda emerge as a potential Formula One circuit? Potentially, it can happen. They've got enough time to build that. They've built Formula One tracks in less time than that. If they want to go there, they will go there. But that doesn't mean that South Africa and Rwanda can't both be on the calendar. Why does Africa have to have one race? Why not two? I don't see why not. In principle, anyway. I don't really want us to go to Rwanda personally, unless they make the best F1 circuit ever. But let's be real here, guys. They won't. When was the last truly great Formula One circuit designed and added to the calendar? I'd argue, you could genuinely go back all the way to like Malaysia in 1999. I'm not talking about renovations. I'm talking about a brand new circuit built from the ground up that has genuinely been great. I'm not talking about good. Bahrain's pretty decent, but I'm talking about a great circuit. I loved Malaysia. I really want to see us go back there one day, but it's never going to happen for many reasons. It had its time in the sun. It had its time in Formula One, but those days are done. But anyway, Africa. I'd love to see it. I really would love to see it, but going off of that, it's not going to happen for a long time. And in that time, would the Cape Town circuit be up and running? Probably. That probably would be. Would Formula One rather go to Cape Town, South Africa, or rather go to Kyalami in South Africa? They'd rather go to Cape Town. They 100% would. That is much more of a glamour event for the big dignitaries, for everybody to rub shoulders with each other and, shake hands and schmooze around and all that good stuff. So I think they'd rather go Cape Town. But most racing fans, including myself, would much rather go to Kyalami. I really do think it's a great track. I really do think it's a great track, and it's in a beautiful part of the world too. Like the Cape Town circuit would be too, but let's be real, guys, that Cape Town, South Africa circuit, go watch my video. I'll link it at the end of this one. It's trash. It's terrible. Get it in the bin. Throw the designs away. Don't ever let that see the light of day. It can't happen. But yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more like this, guys. Have a fantastic day wherever in the world today, and we'll see you very soon.